Fluoride in your water, that's torture. That is the New World Order.
Sweet, we're live. Fuck it, we're doing this live. I'm a little, not that I'm bored right now, but I just found an opportunity. I'm like, hey, listen, man, I got a little bit of time. Let me chip away at something that I wanted to do, and that's going back into. That is taking a look at one of the blog posts that I wrote. This was one of the things I've been wanting to do for a while. Let's share sound. Let's click this button. Let's click that button. Let's just start clicking buttons. Who gives a shit? We're having fun. I don't care. What's up, guys? Khaliq's in here. All right, so I'm gonna share a blog that I wrote back in, when did I write this bad boy? May 26, 2020. I've been turning my blogs into vlogs, or just more of a video representation of them, just to have another layer and to kind of jump back on these blogs that I wrote and share some of my sentiments and see how they aged and whatnot. So I'm going back to do this. And yeah, hopefully the audio and everything is good here with me. But anyway, let's jump into this. I wrote this back in May 26, 2020. I wrote this I submitted it to Autonomy, the university, the schooling experience I've always wished I had and I was able to experience, thankfully, to the Autonomy team and Richard Grove, Joshua Hale and company. So Autonomy is basically schooling experience that you wish you would have had, the dynamic experience that we should have gotten in school, but the opportunities out there thanks to the internet and thanks to communities, like-minded communities, freedom-minded communities. Yeah, you get the drift. So I submitted it to this, to my school, and it is on their website. It is a blog called Newspeak, Language of the Pandemic. I wrote this, like I said, in May. And this was in the height, of the whole COVID-19 debacle, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a thing. We're here. It exists. It exists. Welcome to 1984. I say that lightly because I think this is a good opportunity for us to choose the world we want to live, choose the type of world we want to live. And I encourage you guys to actively do that. Let me move forward. So let's dig into this bad boy. Let's dig into this. I wrote this basically. Let's read it. Let's read it here. Okay. After watching the Corbett report, shout out to James Corbett, video, Stop Calling It Contact Tracing, I was compelled to carry on Corbett's message of pointing out doublespeak in my own interpretation. This exercise took on more elaborate forms after receiving contributions and suggestions from my fellow autonomizers. Shout out to you guys that helped me put this piece together. This task went from a mere collection of propaganda to a comprehensive poem with footnotes. Better yet, it blossomed into a collaboration between my love for creative expression and the Autonomy member blog. I now contribute to the Autonomy member blog. And what better way is there to introduce myself than presenting a poetic piece about today's language with the remembrance of yesterday's propaganda? I am not the best writer, and I think this was written pretty well, but what I'm trying to say is, hey, Khaliq Sim was able to do it, write a blog, you guys can do it. I'm not by any means, any stretch of an academic writer, but I do like writing poetry. You get my drift. So yeah, so that's the paragraph there. Let's jump into, let's share my screen. Let's share that inspiration, that Corbett report video that I'm talking about, right? Let's see if I can, it's there, it's sharing it, cool. Let's keep it going. All right, so Stop Calling It Contact Tracing, the video that inspired this blog post. Let's play it for a little bit. Let's see what this is about.
Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the Corbett Report. I am James Corbett of CorbettReport.com with another edition of Propaganda Watch. Stop me if you've heard this one at all in the past few weeks. Contact tracing. I'm willing to bet you have heard about contact tracing in the past few weeks. I'm also willing to bet it is a term that you have never heard before in your life prior to the last few weeks. something to cogitate on, and I have a remarkably profound but remarkably simple observation about that coming up for you. But for those who have somehow managed to miss this term, contact tracing, and its definition, well, why take it from me? Let's take it from the Clinton Global Initiative.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there. I recommend, so in the show notes, in the notes that I have in this video, I pointed it to the original YouTube video, but apparently James Corbett, the video got flagged down. So I had to look it up on his website. This is what's going on to us in our community, guys. We are being demonetized, flagged down, voices are being suppressed, and things of that nature. So thankfully, James Corbett has his own website, and I was able to find it on there, and I'm sure it's on other platforms. But guys, this is what's going on. I was inspired to do this piece, write this blog because of this video right here. What's in a name? Let's just read this little description right here. What's in a name? Everything. Find out about the latest attempt to package the Orwellian total police state surveillance and grid as something wonderful and wholesome, and why you should never, ever say contact tracing in this week's edition of Propaganda Watch. Yeah, I encourage you guys to check this out. James does a phenomenal job at, giving show notes and links and whatnot. And I try to emulate that in some of the work that I do. So I encourage you guys to check this out. And yeah, this was the inspiration. And also I was inspired by some of my Autonomy counterparts and friends and acquaintances in there to write this piece and submit it to Autonomy. So shout out to you guys in Autonomy that helped encourage that, and thank you for that. So I'm gonna go back to the piece. Let's keep reading. So this is the poem. Let's jump right into the poem, right? So it goes, nothing's new but the current speech, conniving streaks of doublespeak, gaslighting the minds of the school of sheep. Currently, we are witnessing the musical chairs of distraction. Yesterday's trend is tomorrow's fashion. Here's the proof from today's linguistic traction. New World Order is now the new normal. Big Brother is now your friendly snitch. I mean, contact tracer. Remember when martial law was the line in the sand? Well, today we all know self-quarantine has taken its demand. Yesterday's euphemism is today's essential worker. Crowd control and mind control are no longer fads. Social distancing will pick up its tabs. Let's not pretend that when most people hear the word pandemic, they actually hear plandemic. Let's all agree, when we hear coronavirus, we can all ponder false flag. Don't forget, what was once robber barons is now the good club. And yesterday's Rockefeller is today's Gates. Yesterday's Never Forget is today's we're all in this together. Every crisis has its jingle. The slogan for today's new single, yesterday's Nostradamus is today's conspiracy theorist. I like to call myself a conspiracy analyst. You can use that, recycle it. I've recycled it. When you come across a checkpoint, think TSA 2.0. And when you kick back and watch the bread and circus, don't forget you're just Netflix and chilling. It's all the same thing, guys. It's just a different time. Nothing new under the sun. That's not a part of the poem. I'm just narrating. When you spend that hush money, I mean that stimulus check, pay homage to socialism. Next time you hear flatten the curve, remind yourself, where were the weapons of mass destruction? If you find yourself reading Operation Warp Speed, remind yourself MK Ultra. Oh, and when they try to force vaccinate, think of eugenics and population control. I mean, think of the climate change formula, P times S times E times C equals CO2 or less CO2. Lest we forget the effects of the Patriot Act, we can be reminded by today's HR 6666, the Trace Act. All right, so let's get into this. I have some tabs that we can click on. This is the poem. This is the poem Newspeak, language of a pandemic. This is the language that we have today. This is new language, new normal, contact tracing, self-quarantine. I mean, we've heard these things in like movies, cultural, like pop fiction movies that we've seen. I've seen this in, you know, Fifth Element and 12 Monkeys and all of these like dystopian movies. We heard the language, but we've never used it in reality, which is interesting. So essential worker, that's something new that you know, came up in 2019. Social distancing. Yeah, that I never used social distancing. I can't even say it because it wasn't a part of I don't even try to use it. What else we got here? We're all in this together. I've heard that in a movie. Checkpoints, yeah. That's the only, because the time I was using checkpoint all the time in my language when I was going around from place to place, right? Yeah. Stimulus check. Flatten the curve. So anyway, let's check out these links. I'm blabbering on. I hope you guys are following with me. I might be sporadic. My poetry is somewhat encrypted, thus why I'm somewhat sporadic and encrypted. I like it. I think some people might like it as well. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Okay, smash that thumb button. All right, let's jump into this. So the first one right here, I showed you guys the stop calling and contact tracing. Let's check this out. This is the next outbreak we're not ready for. This is the equation I was talking about, that equation that I spoke about here in the climate change formula. There's a formula for climate change, guys. And you are in that equation. Let's see if I can hear it.
Now, Médecins Sans Frontières did a great job.
By the way, if you guys don't know, this is a Trojan man, also known as Bill Gates. I will shut my mouth.
Orchestrating volunteers. But even so, we were far slower than we should have been getting the thousands of workers into these countries. And a large epidemic would require us to have hundreds of thousands of workers. There was no one there to look at treatment approaches, no one to look at the diagnostics, no one to figure out what tools should be used. As an example, we could have taken the blood of survivors, processed it, and put that plasma back in people to protect them. But that was never tried. So there was a lot that was missing, and these things are really a global failure. The WHO is funded to monitor epidemics, but not to do these things I talked about. Now in the movies, it's quite different. There's a group of handsome epidemiologists ready to go. They move in, they save the day, but that's just pure Hollywood. The failure to prepare could allow the next epidemic to be dramatically more devastating than Ebola. Let's look at the progression.
I'm muted. I hope you guys are good lip readers because I was muted for a few seconds. I'm gonna stop it right there. Who gives a shit about what else is being, the main thing about this, I recommend you guys check it out. Check out the formula for climate change. And in that formula, they're using population control through the form of vaccines and sterilization. You got to watch the freaking video. I cannot explain this shit to you guys. And let's take a look at this. April 3rd, 2015. What the hell? I don't know what to say to people anymore. Let's keep moving along. Got a lot of ground to cover. This article right here was from the section Operation Warp Speed, right? Let's remind yourself, where were the weapons of mass destruction during 9/11, right? With weapons, where were they? We didn't know. If you find yourself reading Operation Warp Speed, so if you find yourself understanding the stuff that they're trying to roll out for this exercise that they're doing, ask yourself, remember 9/11, that false flag event, or whatever the hell you want to call it? Don't get too caught up on little words, people. Remember that event? Remember they said they had weapons of mass destructions? Shit, when you think about Operation Warp Speed and this vaccine, think about where the hell were the weapons of mass destruction? Where is this boogeyman that they speak about? let's read about this weapons of this Operation Warp Speed. This article is from April 29, 2020. The Trump administration is organizing a Manhattan Project-style effort to drastically cut the time needed to develop coronavirus vaccine with a goal of making enough doses. Listen, this is freaking Bloomberg, guys. This is Bloomberg, all right? If you guys need a credible source. This is Bloomberg talking about how, you know, Trump's military at that time, which is now Joe Biden's military, is trying to roll out, use military presence to push this vaccine, which I don't know. Something is telling me that that has happened sometime in our history, probably in Germany. Shit, if you guys know what event I'm talking about, because it's like, I can't think about it. Please put it in the comment section if you can help me, because I'm drawing a blank. I don't know. I think it's happened sometime in Germany with like Nazi people. I don't know. I don't know. It's happened at some point. Listen, guys, I know I'm being kind of facetious, but seriously, this is what's going on. This is the new language. This is the new tactics. And this is what I'm trying to uncover with this blog that I have here. The next point, so we could keep going on. Yeah, if you find yourself reading Operation Warp Speed, remind yourself of MK Ultra. Remember MK Ultra, the operation that the government funded in trying to figure out how to control people's minds? Yeah, there's a good film that does a fantastic. These guys right here, Truth Stream Media. Shout out to Truth Stream Media. Yeah. There's people actually. I'm wondering if I'm extremely loud. There's people by the pool. This is a community area. Anyway, I'm sure they're enjoying the show over here. Yeah, Truth Stream Media, they do a fantastic job of doing journalism and cinematography, documentary style stuff. They did a film on MK Ultra, long film. I believe it's, yeah, almost 4 hours. You really want to know about MK Ultra and that operation? Take a time. I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but there's a lot of good stuff in it. I watched at least half, and I should go back and watch the rest. But if you're interested in knowing more about the history of this program that was conducted, this is history, guys. Like, you could say whatever the hell you want to say, but this stuff exists. This stuff is out there. This is not my word. This is research that has been done and is unfortunately being shadow banned and suppressed. So I recommend watching that. Let's just play a little quick one. Oh wow, that's George Orwell. Look at that. If both the past and the external world exist only in the mind, and if the mind itself is controllable, what then? Ask yourself that question.
The Conference of the United Nations on International Organization is now convened.
The United States and the Soviet Union are now among the chief artisans of the new international order.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
Memorandum, dated 19th of June, 1964. Subject.
All right, cool. I'm not going to get too deep into the video. But yeah, if you're interested in that, check that out. Here's this cool little section I did. I did like a contrast of antiquated language that they used to do pre-pandemic, and now they have to roll out a new language to get us acclimated with. It's Animal Farm type stuff. You want to read more dystopian stuff, read Animal Farm. This is what happens. New world order, new normal. Snitch, big brother. These were the old words, not trendy anymore. We're doing contact tracer, okay? Just serves a better purpose. Martial law, not buzzing. Self-quarantine, yes, please. Euphemism, essential worker. Yeah, they've had so many euphemisms. You're an essential worker. Bullshit. Crowd control, mind control, social distancing. This is psychological programming that is being done on us experimentally. Pandemic, false flag. False flag was the word we used back then when we had events that try to create a problem reaction solution, which is what we call Hegelian dialectic. That is now called coronavirus, right? Trojan horse, right? Is now philanthropy. Bill Gates, he's very, very, very kind and very philanthropic, right? He gives a lot of money to like what you would think are really, you know, humanitarian things. Wrong. Really look into Bill Gates if you're interested in that. Never forget, remember never forget during 9/11? We are all in this together is the new phrase. And it might revert back to never forget because who knows what's going to happen. Conspiracy theorists, that's old. Today's word, or in the poem Nostradamus, let's bring it back to Nostradamus. Checkpoint, TSA 2.0, Netflix and chill, bread and circus, hush money, stimulus check, weapons of mass destruction, flatten the curve. Remember they kept saying weapons of mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction. They had these color coordinated things that said what type of emergency we're at. Now we have flatten the curve. Eugenics, population control. That's just another way of saying forced vaccination. Patriot Act. Patriot Act is now HR 6666, Trace Act. This is a real thing. Let's look at it. This is a real freaking thing. I think I'm playing here, dog. This is a thing. They have a bill. COVID-19 testing, reaching, contacting everyone. The Trace Act, they're so trendy. They're so trendy with these words. Man, look at it. Go into this. I should probably go into this. I haven't looked at this entire bill, but I get the drift. I've been keeping an eye on these things for some time. Anyway, let's wrong page. Wrong page. Let me go back to my history. Pull that back up. Newspeak. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulty. We're doing it live, y'all. This is what happens when you get it done. You just do it. I decided I wanted to do it. I'm getting it done. Sometimes you got little hiccups along the way. Push through, y'all. Trust me. Okay. And at the end of the piece, I go, if you find yourself as I have, looking for an environment to help you sort through newspeak and scarcity mindset during a time of crisis, check out Autonomy, the self-development underground railroad of independent thinkers practicing the skills of lifelong success. If you're interested in that, check out, I have all the show notes that'll have this article and everything else and the Autonomy link. Click on the Autonomy link. Yeah, you'll help support me and help support that community. It has helped me, that community has helped me tremendously. I highly recommend that. Check out Autonomy and check it out, man. This article has gotten, yeah, rate the article, guys. Check out the article, rate it. Honestly, okay, you put whatever you want. I'll be okay with that. I got a 5-star rating from somebody. Shout out to that person. Khaliq, that's me right there. You see that picture? Creative writer finding contribution through creative stories, looking to build complementary skills to my creativity through video editing and diversified writing. Guys, visit my website, khaliqsim.com. I'd appreciate it. I got a few comments here from Joshua Hale. Fantastic collection. That's the only comment, actually. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate you. It's from Autonomy. Help put this whole thing together. So shout out to you. Appreciate that. And that's this article right there, guys. I'll be doing more of these. I'll be doing more, converting more blogs into vlogs. I have some other blogs that I've written that I'm interested in giving it a complimentary video to go along with it so that we can go back and see if these things age. I think this one aged pretty well. If you check out my last video, I converted my blog about George Floyd, the whole George Floyd situation. I converted that into a blog, to a video. I did this one. I have one that I wrote a blog about blockchain maybe 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I want to go back to that one and do a video on that. But so look forward to that in the future. Also, I host a show called Renaissance Revolution once a month. I'll be posting that throughout, on my social media platform. So if you're interested in that, check that out. I got merch as well. Check out my website, guys. I have everything there. Got a lot of love for you guys. Let's change our mind from scarcity to abundance. Let's work on ourselves and building our communities, diversify ourselves, and promote freedom. That's what it's all about. Shout out, peace and love. Be the light.